This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Lawley. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your... All right, let's open up the doors. Hello and welcome everybody to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and today we're going to be sharing some exciting news as I have Coach AJ, who's going to help me with today's presentation. So, folks, if you're here live with us, I want to make sure that you have that chat open as the amazing and beautiful Phyllis will be putting information into that chat. If you're watching on any of our platforms and there's a way to comment, we do have a team that is watching for your comments as we want to make sure that we're meeting people where they're at. So when you comment, let us know where you are joining us from. Now, my name is Becca Dukes. I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm also a certified naturopathic practitioner, the director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health. But most of all, I am a business owner. And I love the fact that I can work my business around my schedule. But the best part, it's helping people find what I found to not just barely survive or worse than that, dreading each and every day, but to help them thrive. So I am super excited to be able to offer this information to each and every one of you. If you're watching this presentation because somebody referred you, they are the person for you to get back to. They are the number one person who cared enough about you to share this program with you. So get back with them, let them know what you liked best about today's presentation. And most of all, let them know where you see yourself fitting into a solution, as there's a huge, I don't like to say problem, I don't like to say epidemic, but, you know, there's a situation going on where there are so many people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we have a solution for that. So, AJ, you want to come on live with me, or do we want to just jump right in, my friend?
How about we jump right in?
Well, okay. Everybody, I would like to introduce you to AJ. This is Coach AJ. AJ is very, very instrumental in helping us get out on all the different platforms. He has an amazing entrepreneurial mind and has just been putting so much information in that mind that he has to share it and create presentations so that we can share it with you and not miss a beat. So AJ, let's go ahead and let's start with the same first presentation, my friend.
All right. Guess we should start with presentation. It's going to discuss a little bit about the philosophy of what we do. So you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
What if the whole goal of medicine wasn't just to keep you from dying, but to help you actually live? Well, that's the core idea behind Youngevity, a company that's built an entire philosophy and, yeah, a business model around that very question. So in this explainer, we're going to explore their worldview, using their own presentations to really understand how they see the journey from just surviving to truly thriving. And this single idea you see here, this is pretty much the foundation for everything else we're about to cover. Now, they're quick to point out this isn't some attack on doctors. It's more like a redefinition of their job. They argue that modern medicine is absolutely brilliant in a crisis, but it leaves this huge gap when it comes to long-term wellness. And Youngevity's entire philosophy, well, it's built to fill that exact gap. So to really get what their solution is all about, we've got to start where they do, with the problem they see in how we approach health today. Specifically, when we're talking about those chronic conditions that don't just go away with a quick fix. This quote from pharmacist Ben Fuchs, man, it really gets right to the heart of their perspective. There is a ton of respect for what he calls the healing angels in the ER. The critique has nothing to do with saving you after a car crash. The real question they're asking is, are the tools used in the ER the right ones for the kind of slow-burn, chronic diseases so many of us face? Which brings us to a central analogy they use all the time. They say asking a doctor to fix a lifestyle disease is kind of like hiring a master carpenter to fix your car's transmission. Now, that carpenter is incredibly skilled, right? But they're going to use a hammer and a saw because, well, those are their tools. The point they're making is simple. You need the right tool for the specific job. So here's where they really flip the script. They reframe these chronic diseases not as some kind of medical failure, but as a predictable result of our modern lifestyle and, here's the key, nutritional deficiencies. And this leads to their most hopeful claim of all. If the body's own processes created the problem, then the body also has the power to reverse it. Okay, so if the problem is all about nutrition and lifestyle, what's the fix? Well, this brings us to their core health philosophy. And they reframe the human body using this powerful metaphor that, honestly, anyone who's ever thought about business will get in a second. First things first, they are really particular about their language. You won't hear them use the word cure very much. To them, that sounds kind of magical, you know, passive, something that just happens to you. Instead, they are all about reversal, a tangible, scientific process where you actively turn the body around by giving it the right raw materials. And the science they point to for this whole reversal idea, it all centers on our metabolic state. Think about it. At every single moment, your body is doing two opposing things. It's building new tissue, that's called anabolism, and it's breaking down old tissue, that's catabolism. And they argue that the balance between these two forces is, well, it's everything. And this is where that business metaphor really clicks into place. They say a body that's in a state of disease is in the red. It's breaking down faster than it can rebuild, just like a failing company. But a healthy, thriving body, that's a body in the black, where the buildup is consistently winning out over the breakdown. It's actually making a biological profit. So, the big question is, how do you get your body's business back into the black? According to their philosophy, the answer is simple. You have to supply the raw materials for rebuilding. They identify these as the 90 essential nutrients, and the core argument is that these are the key ingredients that are simply missing from our highly processed modern diets. And this testimonial from one of their advocates, Ryan Alexander, is held up as a powerful example of what they're promising. He talks about this rapid reversal of chronic problems, framing it as what happens when the body finally gets the resources it was missing all along. It's a pretty compelling snapshot of their philosophy in action. But here's where it gets really interesting. Their solution isn't just about getting your body in the black. They argue that true wellness also means financial health and a sense of purpose. And that leads to the second half of their philosophy, what they call a business in a box. This quote from distributor Andy Anderson just sets the stage perfectly. The problem they're trying to solve here is how incredibly complex, expensive, and risky it is to start a traditional business, what he calls a sticks and bricks business. So their alternative is a direct selling model they call turnkey. The whole idea is to get rid of all those traditional business headaches. You don't manage inventory, products are just drop shipped. The cost to get started is low. And maybe most importantly, you are not out there all alone. You're joining a support system that's already in place. And this really highlights what they present as the unique culture of the model. Because of how it's structured with the teams, your own success is directly tied to how well you help others succeed. It's designed to create this community where everyone is, as distributor Raymond Brown puts it, their brother's keeper. This is where the two halves of the philosophy, the health and the business, all merge together into one single path. It's pitched as a holistic solution, not just for your body, not just for your bank account, but for your very sense of purpose. And to really land this idea of purpose, pharmacist Ben Fuchs asks a really fascinating question. What do you think the opposite of passion is? I mean, most of us would probably say apathy, maybe indifference, right? His answer is action. Now, I know that sounds totally backward at first glance. How could action possibly be the opposite of passion? It all comes down to the word's ancient roots. Passion actually comes from passivity and to suffer or to endure. Think of the phrase, the passion of the Christ. So in that original sense, to be passionate means you are so completely captivated by a mission that it pulls you. You aren't the one acting, the purpose is. And this is the journey they lay out. It starts with your own health transformation. That powerful personal experience then becomes the fuel for a purpose, a passion to help other people do the exact same thing. And the business model? Well, that just serves as the vehicle to go chase that mission, which ultimately can lead to financial freedom. This quote from health coach Breck Rubin really captures that deep sense of mission that you hear from so many of their followers. For them, it's not just a health program or a business plan. It's something much deeper, a calling, a gift, or even, as she puts it, a divine blueprint. And all of that leaves us with the central question at the very heart of their entire philosophy. Is it possible to find a truly meaningful life by merging a personal health mission with a business model that's built on helping others? It's a fascinating and pretty provocative idea to think about.
So, AJ, as I was listening to that, there's a couple things that really caught my attention.
The way they pronounce Ben's name?
Well, that's one of them. Yes,
Okay.
that is one of them.
Okay.
And yeah, but what I was thinking is, yeah, we don't talk about curing anything. We're giving the body what it needs to be able to do what it was designed to do. And for me, in my experience, I've gone through a lot of supplements and different companies in my life. And this was the one that actually provided solutions so that I could go from just barely surviving to thriving and build a profitable business. What caught your attention?
About the particular, about the
That video.
about the video. A number of things caught my attention about the video, but I can kind of concur with what you said. Definitely a dramatic change in my physical well-being and an income that is enjoyable to earn. So it's all works together. You get better, you make some money, you help some other people. It's for some of us, this is an ideal place to be.
Well, and when we're working with individuals and we're creating those relationships and we're able to see them go from having poor health to then thriving, I think that's the best purpose in the world.
I don't really measure results by someone's diagnosis, but it is really, it keeps you going when somebody says, I went back to my doctor and they can't find the C word. And it's like, then, it's just like, at that point, I'm not judging it by that, because we all have different degrees of success. But that one, when you hear that one, you know, and I've heard that 3 or 4 times this year. So it's fulfilling.
No, absolutely. And the C word's not the only thing. You got blood sugar issues. You got people that suffered decades with migraines. I'm one of them that no longer have them. I mean, that in itself, to be able to wake up in the morning and love the fact that you feel great instead of looking for something to cover up the pain. It's just amazing. But most importantly, AJ, you don't have to have an inventory. You don't have to worry about stocking, products and shipping them. Youngevity does all that for us. We didn't have to come up with the products. We didn't have to go through the branding, the marketing part of it. You don't even have to create your own website. Youngevity has all of that done for the individual, where they take their passion to help others. And there's your business. It's already done for you. Business in a box.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love the fact that when you sign up, no matter what level you sign up on, you can sign up on the starter level, or the intermediate level, or the automatic CEO level. No matter what level you sign up on, you do get a homemade website. You get your own website that you can direct people to buy your products. And I think that is fantastic. It's just really good value for what you put in monetarily. It's an amazing value.
And there's so many different ways that you can work this business. You find the one that fits your personality. And you don't have to know everything. So, EJ, let's go ahead and go to that next video, and we'll pick up on our commentary about it, and then see what some others have to say about it as well.
Okay. Well, let's do it then.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a really unique business model. We're using Youngevity's own training materials to break down their entire blueprint, from the big picture philosophy all the way down to the daily grind. Right at the very heart of this whole thing is this statement. And look, this is way more than just a marketing slogan. It's the core belief system. By calling it a crusade, they're turning a business into a moral cause, and that is a seriously powerful motivator for everybody involved. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you take a massive, emotional mission like that and boil it down into a step-by-step system that pretty much anyone can pick up and run with? Well, that's exactly what we're about to unpack. Okay, so first things first, let's really dig into this foundational philosophy. Because if you want to understand how the business works, you've got to understand the why that drives both the company and every single one of its distributors. So it really boils down to these 3 big ideas. First, you've got health, which is all about these incredible personal transformation stories. Then there's wealth, but notice how they frame it, not as profit, but as thank you checks you get for helping people. And finally, there's purpose, this idea that you can become a guide, a light in the forest for people who are totally lost when it comes to their health. So you've got this massive why, fueling everything. Now let's look at the how. What's the actual engine here? What's the system, and what are the products that let this mission actually function as a real business? The whole concept is built on this idea of a turnkey business. Think of it like this. It's a pre-built business in a box. All the really hard stuff, inventory, packing, shipping, the company handles all of that, which gets rid of some of the biggest roadblocks for an individual starting out. And this just lays it all out, super simple. The distributor's job is laser focused on one main thing: find a customer. That's it. Once you do that, the company takes over all the back-end logistics. And because the products get used up, it creates this pathway to what they call residual income, getting paid over and over again. Now, to really get why the product is so appealing, you have to see how they position it. They basically draw a line in the sand. On one side, you have the standard medical model, which they say is all about survival, just keeping you alive. On the other side, you have their nutritional model, which is all about thriving. actually trying to reverse the underlying problems. That's a really powerful story to tell. Okay, and here's what they call their secret weapon. The big claim here is that the more nutritionally deficient a person is, the sicker they are, the quicker their body sucks up the nutrients. And this is so key because it promises the biggest, most dramatic results for the people who need it the most. So, how do they build trust around these products? Well, they lean hard on 3 pillars of credibility. First, the founder's decades of research. Second, a promise that you're getting at least 100% of what's on the label. And third, they point to rigorous third-party testing to prove it's all pure and high quality. All right, so we've got the mission and we've got the engine, but who's driving this thing? Let's talk about the who, the operator. And as their training makes crystal clear, having the right mindset isn't just important, it's everything.
This is rule number 1, the absolute foundation for any distributor. You have to use the products yourself. You've got to invest in your own health. The whole idea is to become a walking, talking testimonial. Your own results become your best marketing tool because people will literally see the change and ask you about it.
And success isn't just about using the product. It's tied to this idea of constantly learning. You're encouraged to be a perpetual student, always learning more about health, about nutrition, about personal growth. They frame this as totally non-negotiable if you want to succeed in the long run. This is a big one. They drill down on having a growth mindset. It's this core belief that when you hit a roadblock, it's not a stop sign. It's an opportunity to learn something, to get better, to grow. It's a psychological framework designed to build resilience, because let's face it, building any business is tough. Finally, there's this huge focus on community. The mantra is all ships rise. It's this idea that you should be genuinely excited about other people's success, because a win for them is a win for the whole team. It's designed to create this supportive vibe where everyone is helping each other climb. Okay, so you've got the mission, you've got the mindset, but what do you actually do every day? That brings us to the playbook, the what, the specific, concrete actions every distributor is supposed to take. One of their core strategies is this thing called the 1-hour expert formula, and it's actually pretty clever. The steps are simple. Pick a niche, study it for just an hour a day for 1 week, and then go share what you learned. The goal isn't to become a world-renowned scientist. It's just to know more than the average person on that one specific topic, and fast. The playbook gets really specific on how to find new customers. It says to focus on people who are actually willing to make a change, to really listen to their story, to use the tools the company gives you. But the main thing they hammer home is this: lead with testimonials. Why? Because stories sell. Facts just tell. So when it comes to actually reaching people, they teach a hybrid approach. It's the best of both worlds. They use modern digital tools, social media, short videos, for what they call attraction marketing. But they also really stress that old school in-person stuff, local meetings, face-to-face chats, still works like a charm. Of course, signing someone up is only step 1. Keeping them is the real goal. And that's where this retention cycle comes in. It's all about building a real relationship, making a follow-up call at a specific time to check in, and then making it super easy for them to keep buying by getting them on an auto-ship program. So, let's just pull this all together. You can see the whole blueprint now. It all starts with a massive mission, the why. That mission is powered by a specific engine, the how. It's driven by a certain kind of person, the operator, that's the who. And it's all guided by a daily playbook, the what. So here's the blueprint, laid out plain and simple. And it leaves us with this really interesting question. The company materials say that success is just the exhaust of a system. But after seeing how much they focus on mindset, on personal growth, on the who, you gotta ask, is the secret really in the system? Or is it in the person who decides to run it?
You know, it could go either way. I mean, you can have a fantastic system, but if the person doesn't have this belief in it, they're probably not going to work it. But if you have the strong belief in something, yet you don't have a system, it takes a whole lot longer to get it off the ground. And that's where I absolutely love what Youngevity has put together in providing us with most of the work already done, AJ.
You know, I don't know if what I'm going to say is appropriate, but I believe, the system is important, and having your own system is probably going to be the key to building a successful business. And, I just think back to other businesses I've been in, and all all of us had the same job, but all of us approach things in different way. I could look over here and there's a guy approaching business one way, someone else is approaching business another way, someone else is approaching business another way. But at the end of the month, everyone is all making money because we're all attacking the business, which I'm going to simplify by saying, I don't care if you only have a pen and a piece of paper, some envelopes, and some stamps. You can make money if you put in the effort. If you do meetings, you can make money by putting in that effort. If you walk around your neighborhood and stop and talk to everybody that passes by, you can make money by putting in the effort. If you do a podcast 5 days a week, and you talk to people, you can make money. It just so happens that the podcast, the attraction marketing, feeds a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are able to, and that's the economy of scale. This is why you want to speak in front of your church, or you want to speak in front of your civic group, or you want to have a meeting in your library, or, like the Browns do. They have, they had a meeting at one place every Thursday, so people knew, and they started the first week, they had one person, and the next week they had 3 people. Within a couple of weeks, they had a room full of people. And they just never stopped, and they're 5-star. From that simple way to build a business. Everyone has their own way to do it, but you got to do it. No matter what it is. Can't just think about it.
No, you can't. But one thing that I can think back on, I mean, my whole work career, I had a schedule. I had to be there. Whether I was working first shift, second shift, third shift, it did not matter. I had to ask for time off. And those years, I missed out on my kids growing up because I was, for much of it, the sole breadwinner, feeding my babies. And then with my 4th baby, I was so sick, I couldn't go back to work, not even after he was born. So when I found something that gave me my life back, I'm like, this would be a fantastic way to be able to stay home, raise my baby, even now spend time with my grandkids, which I'm super excited to be able to do, and travel. So I got better. I got my life back, and I'm able to do what I want to do now to be able to spend time with the people that I love. I don't know about you, but, well, okay. I guess I'm talking specifically to the mamas who have growing babies, yet don't want to miss everything that they go through in those stages and be able to be there for their kids, whether it's ball games, whether it's dance recitals, which my adult son, I was able to take a week off and go watch him play baseball at a World Series in Arizona. My granddaughters dancing in Washington. I just, there's not just be able to travel, but I can still do my business and use that travel as business write-off because I'm sharing with others, whether it's one-on-one or going to an event and helping people in my downline share the message as well.
I can remember a story you told me about, and not about the business, but about your health transformation. I can remember a story you telling me about one of your kids saying how grateful they were that you were feeling better, and how when they were kids you couldn't even go out and play with them or throw a ball with them. I don't remember the exact sentence, but like that's a dramatic change, from what you're doing now. I mean, you're everywhere.
I remember that day specifically because we had about not quite 2 feet of snow on the ground. And when you've got bone and joint issues, you don't want to be in it. And this particular time, I was out in the snow playing with my oldest, who had his 2 young daughters there. And I was sledding and pulling them up the hill and just having a fantastic time. And he mentioned that to me. He's like, you weren't able to do this when I was a kid. So it is traumatic. It's changed my life and I love it.
Oh yeah, I knew I'd get a tear out of you on that one.
Right.
So maybe someone else has got some story, because this is, I mean, as much as there is, yeah, but I mean, but we brought it up because it's real. It's a real change that happens, and but I think Sherry's got a reason d'etre.
Yes, she does. Sherry,
Yes.
why did you choose Youngevity?
Well, I had used a lot of, like you, different nutritional products with very little results. I didn't notice anything specific, but then I somehow stumbled across Youngevity and started using those and saw immediate results, actually. And my husband and I both saw immediate results. We were quite surprised. And my goal when I joined as a distributor was just to make enough to pay for our supplements. That was my only goal. And it's become a business because it just naturally seems to flow into that. When you start sharing, especially people my age, many of them are having all kinds of joint replacements and they have a lot of health issues, and I don't have those issues. And so some of them have asked me, why aren't you like the rest of us? And it's because I feel like I found the fountain of youth with Dr. Wallach. I really feel that way. And you feel so good that people notice, and then you start sharing what you do, and then they want to try it. As long as they'll change their diet too. You can't, this is the big issue. You cannot out supplement a poor diet. If you aren't willing to get off the gluten, if you aren't willing to get off the oils, you'll see some results, but you won't get the full benefit of what you could have if you would just follow what Dr. Wallach has taught and learned and continues to teach. So yeah, that's why I did it. And now it's a business. I make a decent amount of money. I work as many hours as I choose. I love helping people, and they tend to come back and they bring other people to me. And yeah, there's my story.
Well, and one thing that you had mentioned is make a decent amount of money. And folks, we're not making any type of income claims here.
No.
You get out of it what you put in it.
Correct.
And when you're able to plug into a system that has training to help you fine tune your approach, it makes a world of difference. Now, Sherry, how long have you been a quote unquote health coach?
Since 2015.
So 10 years.
Yes.
You've been helping people probably prior to that.
Yeah, I was. I just became an official health coach, so I'd have that title. Certification just means you can promote yourself better, but I was helping people before then.
And then when did you become a certified holistic health coach?
About 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I think.
So you've done other programs, and you've also done the certified holistic health coach course offered by the Institute of Holistic Health.
Right.
Now, I know there's valuable information that you learned and obtained from both of those.
Correct.
Which
That is
one
correct.
are you, yeah, which one are you able to use the most from?
Now it's it's the one that's the Institute of Holistic Health, the most current one, because it goes over different health challenges, how to use Youngevity products for those health challenges. You know, Youngevity products don't heal the body. It just gives the body the raw material so the body can do what it's designed to do, and that's heal. So for me, the Certified Holistic Health Coach program helped me learn how to use Youngevity products, what they help. And so it was kind of like a leap forward. I'm also an herbalist, and you can use herbs to also help the body. But if even that, if you don't have good nutrition, you don't get as much out of it. It doesn't work that way. You have to have the core nutrition. Your body has to be nutrified, I guess is the best word for it. And then whether you use herbs or whether you use Youngevity products, and Youngevity has a great herb line, then it can do what it's designed to do in your body. So yeah, I would say the second health coaching program gives me most information of what I'm doing now. And I picked a niche when I was doing the health coaching program to begin with. I worked mostly with diabetics, which my husband was type 2 diabetic, so I was very familiar with that. And so I mostly work with people with that problem. And I saw the biggest benefit when they started adding sweeties. They changed their diet. They started adding sweeties and just the 90 for life. I mean, that just made such a difference in their turnaround on their health with their diabetes.
And that ties right into what the video shared about picking a niche.
Yes.
Well, I know, Sherry, you're doing fantastic. You've already hit 1 star, helping a lot of people. You got some amazing coaches underneath you that are just rocking it as well. And I love being able to watch each and everyone grow, not just on my team, but other coaches that are in part of the Institute of Holistic Health as they are growing and sharing the business and helping not only themselves and their families, but their communities.
Yes.
I think I'm in the best business of
people
all.
need to jump on the train because they're being left behind otherwise.
Yes. And you mentioned Dr. Wallach, and I would like to bring on with us, thank you, Sherry. I would like to bring on Phyllis, who has been part of this crusade the longest of any of us, as she and her husband were very instrumental in putting Dr. Wallach on the radio. And I mean, you've been married, today's your anniversary.
Right.
And you've been married almost as long as you've been in Youngevity.
Well,
Or
a little
actually
longer.
just a little bit longer.
A little longer, but yes, we have been involved with Youngevity for quite a while, and certainly never could have imagined what it turned into. Both of us had been in several network marketing companies, and which were just really utter failures, and both of us had sworn to never join another network marketing company again, honestly. And I figured I was pretty bad at it, so I was not going to do it anymore. And how wonderful it was. And the reason we got involved is because a friend reached out to us. And sometimes it's as simple as someone you know asks you, would you like to join me in this project I'm doing, which is a business? And that's what happened. And we didn't have health issues that we knew of. But this did come along at a very convenient time in our work history. We had just lost some work that we were doing kind of freelance. And what do you know? We got a phone call from Michael, our sponsor, Michael Zwirling. Do you want to join me in marketing this radio show, Dead Doctors Don't Lie? And Andy was a radio guy. He'd had a radio show on Michael's station. That's how we knew him. But within just a few days of taking the products, we immediately discovered we both had low blood sugar, and we didn't know. But that's why we were so tired in the middle of the afternoon, and I just wanted to eat everything in sight. And I would go home from, I was working, I had a graphics business, and I would go home and just collapse on my bed for 30 minutes after I got home every day and just lie there. And because I had eaten a whole bunch of carbs a couple hours earlier. And within a few days, uh, honestly, the energy level evened out. And Andy, same thing. And he was over at the radio station actually making phone calls, but there was a candy, honor basket there, and he would help himself and get the candy bars. And within a few days, he wasn't doing that. So it's just grown from there, and in a way we never could have foretold. And we've tried lots of different things. And Becca, I think people are afraid to try things sometimes. Well, what if I fail? Well, I think most of what we've done hasn't worked, but the mere act of doing something is magical because it brings stuff to you out of left field that you never would have imagined. Have you found that out to be true?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you had mentioned Michael. I worked with Michael in the beginning when we first started getting Doc on podcasts rather than just off the radio. And then had my own radio program on his radio station. And, just those things, putting yourself out there, stepping out of your comfort zone many times, it really does start the momentum. And that action is not only good for business, but it was good for my soul. Because I love people. But when I was sick and tired, I pretty much alienated myself from so many people because I didn't want them seeing me like that.
And when you're
now,
not feeling well, yes, you don't feel like even talking to someone about anything.
Yeah. And now I can get on the phone, and many times my phone rings while I'm already on the phone. Or on the show. I just missed 2 calls. But I love that because one is duplicatable. You choose what works for you, or find somebody that's doing what will work for you, and you duplicate it.
I think what I like about these videos is that it's nice to have something easy to share, first of all, but it takes it away from you because a third party automatically has third party credibility, no matter who or what it is. It's not just me saying something. The mere fact it's something else. And that's why I like three-way calls so much. And that's something we have relied on quite a bit, is because even if I'm working with someone who knows the basics and can talk to people, if we get on the phone together with somebody else, just the fact they bring me in, I have automatic credibility because I'm a stranger. I mean, it's bizarre, right? But
it's bizarre, yeah.
But now it's not just that person, it's another person. And then it's a whole company and Dr. Wallach behind all of this. And that gives them the credibility and assurance. And we don't have to share a lot of information necessarily, but the fact that we have faith and belief so strongly in these products and what they've done for us, that speaks louder than anything.
Oh, it absolutely does. And Dr. Wallach himself is absolutely, I mean, when you look up in the dictionary workhorse, there should be a picture of Dr. Wallach, because he was go, 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 didn't let anything stop him. And I mean, he was on our show up until last year. And then his family said, Doc, we want to spend some time with you. Get to know your grandkids, which he has one of his youngest grandson is now going into veterinary medicine as well, and be able to be part of that. So I love the fact that we're with him and now we're able to carry on as he's enjoying his family, like I wanted to enjoy my family while they were growing. It just a perfect fit. And I've been with a lot of different network marketing companies that I didn't believe in, or they went under, and it just was not profitable. And I think a lot of people that have tried network marketing companies can, you know, really laugh at the fact that they were their best customer.
I wanted to also touch on the self-improvement part of getting involved with something like this, the growth that you go through that you're not necessarily looking for or expecting, but when you get involved with something like this, but like you mentioned, doing different things that you're not used to and you might feel a little strange about. And I'm someone who was honestly really kind of a wallflower. I never said anything. I just wanted to shrink into the background. And like in school, I never raised my hand. I never said anything. And certainly I didn't want to talk in front of people. And, you know, that was my biggest nightmare. But one thing I started doing when we moved to Las Vegas, and we knew very few people, I joined a couple of networking groups and representing Youngevity and nutritional products. And it was so good for me because not only did I make some good friends, but we'd all have to give a talk. You know, first of all, you have to go around and introduce yourself and give the 30-second, you know, commercial of what you represent. And that was scary enough, honest to God. But then when it was my turn to give a talk and I'd have to plan a 10, 15-minute something that would be interesting and captivate people and show them what I do. And I did that over and over and over and over again. And also being on the radio with Andy in years back, that helped too. And Andy likes to laugh now that he just can't shut me up.
Well, I love the fact that he can't shut you up, and he doesn't try.
Right.
So, because
Not if he
have
knows
so
what's
much
good
to
for him,
share.
right?
Yes, he does. He's a smart man. Smart man. Well, thank you so much, Phyllis, for coming on and sharing with us why you got and how you got started with Youngevity and what it has done for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have two people, AJ, that I want to bring up. And let's start with Albert. Albert, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Rebecca,
So-
and hello, everybody.
You know, I love listening to you talk, Albert. I don't think I could ever get tired of it. But why would somebody in South Africa want to get involved with an American company?
Because somebody in South Africa, like you, Rebecca, and like a couple of other people, just by chance got to hear about Dr. Wallach. And what really inspired me as I got to hear about this doctor that managed to heal people and get people's health to restore out of, call it almost nowhere, where the conventional way of thinking is like, you know, it's not going to happen. And Dr. Wallach just proved over and over and over and over again that he could do it. And he did it with such confidence. He was so sure of himself, of what he could do for people, that there was absolutely no doubt. And then not only that, when he gave his word, he could back it up. I mean, who has got in their career, who in today's time has got a 70-year success rate of just helping one person after the other, after the other, after the other? And the big thing about Dr. Wallach is he's doing it even now while he's resting at home, because he's taught people like you and me and Phyllis and AJ and Sherry on what to do and how he found out to help people restore their health.
Absolutely. And he started with himself.
He
and
started with
helping
himself.
Yeah. Just
He
like I
started with
did.
himself.
So
That's what inspired me. I thankfully haven't had too many health challenges in my life. So I've been a fairly healthy person right throughout my life. But what really inspired me is that, you know all your friends and you know of people that you've come to know and heard about this one and heard about that one. And then all these lights started coming on for me. But if Dr. Wallach has done it for somebody like this, then hey, you know what? This person can be helped and that person can be helped. And that's really what just got me unbelievably interested. And I was hooked without even knowing it. Before I even knew it, I was spending between 1 and 4 hours a night, every night, studying. And
and was it a chore to study?
no ways. No ways. It was, like I said, I was hooked. It wasn't like a grind. And I was doing it without even realizing that I was doing it. It was like, now's time. The books were out and I was making notes and highlighting and carrying on. And now having qualified as a health coach, the backup that you have in this team is something unbelievable. I can not know what I'm talking about, but I've got a team of people. I mean, I can name Keely. She's on the call here. When I needed to know something, Keely, no problem, I'll help you out. And I'll take you, Rebecca. How many times have I not phoned you and sent messages? Hey, what do I do here? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? We have a team of people who have got experiences like Cherie with her diabetes people. If I don't know what to do about somebody who's got dysglycemia, let's not say the D word, if they've got dysglycemia, I can, without a problem, I can phone up Cherie or message her and say, have you had an experience with somebody with dysglycemia? How did you address it? How did you help them? And in some of the calls that we've been on, there's Jill. She's told me personally, at any time, if I want to use her as a testimony, no problem. And she said at that time that she was 90% right in 90 days. And she was 100% right in 160 and 180 days. That's 6 months after having suffered for years and years and years and years. And look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
You suffered for years and years and years. And within weeks, you realized that there's a massive change in your health. How many people
35
can
years.
say that having been on other supplements as opposed to Youngevity supplements? Youngevity supplements, there is no comparison. And the way Dr. Wallach and Steve and the whole team have actually formulated these products, they've made it so that it's unlike any other.
Yeah. And they don't
They're
forget
the
those
benchmark.
cofactors. Those cofactors are so important because not
Because,
many supplement companies do.
yeah, but why is that? And that's because the care that is within Dr. Wallach and the care and the whole integrity that he has, that he's instilled in this entire company and with all of us as health coaches.
That's right.
He's given us integrity that we haven't even worked for because of what he's done.
That
So,
is
yeah,
absolutely correct.
I hope that makes sense. And that's why I got inspired, is because of the amount of people that I can help and really not even knowing or having the experience of having, had to go through a whole lot of things. And yet there's people that I can go to and help and say, let's talk. We can, work against this that you have. And with you, we can work against that you have.
Well, I love the fact that we can all work together,
Yep.
which is one of the reasons why I do this program, is because we do each have so much to offer that can then help the company as a whole and the distributors within the company who have decided to become independent distributors, and for lack of another, term or something that somebody might relate to, is they purchase their own franchise as a wellness company. And you've done the same, even down in South Africa.
Even down in South Africa.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Albert, for coming on and sharing with us today. And you
My
had
pleasure.
mentioned Keely. I would like to ask Keely to unmute if she would. And Keely, if you want to turn your camera on and come on camera with me, that would be fantastic as well. Hello, Keely. Now, Keely, why did you choose to add Youngevity to your business entourage?
A couple different reasons. I spent my career basically as a business strategist, working and focusing on transitions and transformation of businesses. And in doing that, you build long-standing relationships because you're leveraging your own principles and your own beliefs, and people get to trust you. So it's always been my belief in potential and possibility. There's some research that's out there that basically talks about the potential that we have and the possibility that we have, but people don't believe in themselves and they don't have any hope and or the faith in order to get there. So for me as a strategist in working with companies, the entire time you're working on renewal and restoration, and you've got to create a compelling picture for the future. Well, because of being a business coach and a strategist, I ended up becoming a life coach. And then I became a career coach. And then I got into the health end when some of my clients got deathly ill. And they'd say, well, you've taken me through every other transition in my life. Will you take me through one of the biggest ones, which is transforming from this life to the next? And it threw me into an advocacy role. And as part of an advocate, it was being a health advocate. And then, of course, when you get into the situations and dealing with dysfunctional systems, you have to unfortunately leverage legally, or at least know what you have access to. So given that, it really became that when I took a look at everything that I was doing, it was helping people to help themselves. And for whatever reason, I had the belief in the faith when they didn't have it. I could help them create a compelling picture for hope, and then give them enough structure in order to support that. When it came to the end of the life, sort of being like a life doula, as they called me, I realized that they didn't have to suffer. And I was looking for what could help them help themselves, but live optimally without suffering. And I found Dr. Wallach when my father was ill. Having known about him 30 years before, but was naive enough to believe that, oh, that was for that point in time and not this point in time. And he ended up saving my father's life and giving him 2 of the best years that he had, and then taking that into myself, and then taking that into my husband and becoming a product of the product, and then basically outreaching and studying like crazy because I realized I had 26 of Doc's books that were in my library and I hadn't picked them up for years. So given that, it's really about being committed to individuals to help them help themselves and let them know that they don't have to suffer, that they can make a choice of how they choose to live, and they don't have to choose the opposite if they choose not to. So I go back to the good book for this, and that is, the good Lord tells us to choose life, not death, choose life. And if they want it, Doc was given the gifts, as I call him, a modern day Moses, in order for us to have the products to basically send that message. And we were.
Absolutely. Now, you've helped a lot of people. But you're not shoving information down their throats, are you?
No. I do my best because I have a clinical background. I try to meet people where they are. You can't take somebody to where you've been. They don't have the conceptual reality. They don't know what you know. So you have to meet people where they are. And if you can meet them where they are, you can build a relationship based on trust. They will look for the congruence of your words to your behavior. They will trust you and they will relinquish. They will start to share with you what their struggles are. Um, you know, where they're over, where their strengths become their weaknesses, and those weaknesses hurt us because, us who are super independent, we don't ask for help. We're usually giving it. And, everybody has a line that where, we can believe that we're independent in and of ourselves. But the truth is, we might go through the life individually, but we do need other people. And you just need to know who to call. And in this case, some people have a lot more resources than others, but the whole point is there's more than enough to go around, and we can all leverage what we know in order to help people help themselves.
Absolutely. Now, people, they hear this and they hear this, and there's this supplement for this, and there's this supplement for that. And like, oh, I've already tried that. What is your response?
I think that there's a difference between making excuses and having reasons. And, people make a lot of excuses because they don't know what to do or they're not ready to do it. They're really telling you where they are. The question is, can you move them from making an excuse to being responsible and accountable and then making a choice? And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes their disbelief is so great that they're just going to run in their fear. And all you can do is plant the seed or pull the weed, as I call it. You got to sort of pull the weeds first and plant the seed and see whether or not they're a taker. Ultimately, God gave us each a will to be able to choose. And sometimes we choose well, and sometimes we choose poorly. I call it going around the suffering mountain. Sometimes there's value in suffering, and sometimes you just have to get to the end of yourself until you're willing to surrender. And then when you are, that's the place where somebody can meet you with some level of support and or assistance.
Absolutely. Now, you've done other modalities when it comes to the health and wellness industry. And you've tried a lot of different things with herbs and vitamins. Why would you choose the Youngevity line?
Well, my grandma was sort of like the medicine woman in Puerto Rico. So we knew about the herbs and the tinctures and the roots. And, she used to boil them down and we used to drink them. And, medicine isn't supposed to taste good. It just tastes like dirt. Then did the Ayurveda for, I don't know, 20 plus years. And a lot of that works. And it was trying to find somebody has to be out here that knows this stuff, that's done something, but who in God's name is it? And in coming through, I did the Chinese medicine, the Japanese medicine, the Ayurveda, did all the practices, did Deepak Chopra, Dr. Andrew Weil, you name it. I've got it. Book it over here, I guarantee you. And then it was like, okay, when it came down to fighting for somebody's life that you loved, it sort of changed everything. And it was like, now is the moment. And it was really just coming back across. It was not a mistake. It wasn't a serendipitous moment. I was led to that information. And when I was led to that information, I knew that I had something that was great. And why recreate what Doc has done? There's no way you can do it because there's nobody that has all of that education, all that experience, and that wisdom. So to recreate it is foolishness, absolute foolishness. And it's about how do you leverage what he's done and how do you pick it up and stay true to that research and that science that really is due to that comparative pathology at the end and working backwards. I think it's genius. And when I start to talk to individuals in the medical community, they actually get stumped by it. And that's part of what allows them to have a conversation. So I sort of get amused by it. And I just knew, they say that the truth shall set you free. When I heard that truth, it resonated with everything within me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Keely. I know this was kind of an impromptu, but I appreciate all that you do and have so much respect for you coming from the industry and just moving through the steps with individuals and not giving up on them. You're awesome.
Well, thank you. It definitely takes a lot out of you, from time to time, but if we don't do it, who will?
Exactly. So that raised the question, if somebody else isn't doing it and your family and community are hurting, who's going to step up and start providing options for them and yourself as well? AJ, do you have any closing comments that you would like to add?
Well, Keely just said she was led to it. So I want to lead you to it. Go in the description, folks. And in the description, it says, what does it say in the description? It says best option. And you can get a CEO mega pack, become an instant CEO. You can get a good option, and good meaning you can have products that you can try and see how they work for you, just like all of us are talking about how we think that they're great. You can find out for yourself, or you can use a starter option. Even if you're taking products already, or you've never used products before, you can try the starter option, become a distributor. I think it'd be much better if you were using the products. I think Becca agrees with that probably.
Oh, hands down.
Because we are a product of the product, and your story sells, not just telling someone. Your story is what convinces people.
So AJ, does it cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to have your own business and be one of us?
Absolutely not. It's not like, I think on Monday on one of our coaching calls, they were talking about franchises and how much it costs to start a franchise and how much you make on a franchise. I think they were saying something like the owner of a franchise may clear $100,000 a year after spending millions of dollars to.
It was 50 grand.
I heard 50 grand, but I looked it up and it looked like it was a little more than 50 grand. So, but at any rate, it's still a lot of work, a lot of overhead, a lot of struggle to poison people with your French fries, whereas we can, work less intensely and help people make themselves feel better. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. AJ, thank you so much for helping me do today's show. I greatly appreciate you, your wisdom, your knowledge, your digital expertise. And we couldn't do this show as easily without the help of our co-hosts, as today we have on with us Albert, who you just heard from way down in South Africa, as he's helping to let people in. Phyllis, who is a pioneer in this business, in this company, who has just been fantastic as she has joined our Daily with Doc Zoom team in helping with keeping everything running smoothly. And also Sherry, who's part of the tech crew and helping to make sure everything is connected and rolling smoothly as well. Folks, get back with the person that shared this program with you. Let them know you want good, better, or best. You can't go wrong with any of them, but I absolutely think going best is going to get the nutrition in yourself, in your family, so you all can feel the difference as you are starting this journey in becoming your own business, an entrepreneur. Even if you're adding it to something else that you're doing, this could absolutely complement so many different industries, especially if you're in an alternative modality, helping people already. So get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is no one to thank and you would like to get started, AJ, where should they go?
Well, I would call 855-949-3377, or maybe even send an email to questions@dailywithdoc.com. But, you know, you can just go to the Daily with Doc website and join the team. You know, click one of those links, go under the business building, in the store, in the business building section, and pick one. Even if you start with the smallest one, pick one that works for you. You know, I love telling my story that, you know, I bought one of those packs and it came with a lot of product, and I was in so much pain I couldn't even walk, so I couldn't really give out the product. So I just started taking the product, and then all of a sudden, I'm playing basketball again and having a life and being able to walk properly. And so, you know, it works. I mean, it can work for you. Listen, if you only got a pen and paper, you can make a business work. You can do it. Doesn't take knowing how to use the computer or being pretty like the ladies on the screen. You can just be duds like me and Albert and make a business. You know, just do it. Just go out and do it like Nike.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, folks, for joining us and investing this time into yourself. And we hope that you do make a decision to help yourself, help others, and together we can make a huge impact around the world in creating healthier families, communities, and a healthier world. So until next time, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. And if there is no one to thank or you've never tried any of the products before, 855-949-3377. One of the certified holistic health coaches on our call team can help you get started today. Until next time, bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Lawley. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available.